Yo, welcome back to Politically Animated, the only show where the government shuts down. But the jokes never stop coming. We are officially 31 days deep into the US government shutdown marathon. And folks, it's not just long, it's historic. Like, put it in the textbooks next to why Rome fell historic. So apparently Democrats and Republicans are in an all-out finger-pointing contest. Like toddlers fighting over who spilled the juice box. Except the juice box is America's economy. Polls say nearly half of Americans blame President Trump and congressional Republicans. Meanwhile, the other half is probably too busy Googling how long before rent becomes optional. Vice President J.D. Vance tried to calm the storm this week, hosting a White House roundtable with aviation union leaders after air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck. And let's be honest, the only thing scarier than flying economy is flying when your pilot's thinking about overdue bills. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be cruising at 30,000 feet today, assuming my landlord doesn't shut off my Wi-Fi before I land.
And tonight, the government shutdown is moving into day 31. There's no end in sight, and we are only days away from this being the longest shutdown in history. And one thing both parties can agree on is more people will begin feeling the pain, from the federal employees not getting paid to food assistance programs that are running dry. Vice President J.D. Vance was at the White House today hosting a roundtable of aviation, travel, and union leaders who laid out their concerns about the stress on their workforce as air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck just earlier this week.
Do we want those people who keep the aviation system running to not be able to feed their families, to not be able to pay for some of the things that make life worth living? The answer to that question is absolutely. We want them to be able to afford a good life. The only way for that to happen is to reopen the government.
The Department of Transportation is reportedly working on recruiting more air traffic controllers as a temporary solution. Senate adjourned tonight and is not expected to meet again until next Monday. Lawmakers trying to get a flight out of D.C. tonight are reportedly experiencing flight delays due to staffing at Reagan International Airport. Other airports tonight are experiencing some similar issues. And also, Democrats and Republicans and Congress continue to blame each other for the shutdown. Democrats warn the government could remain closed into November, saying they won't agree to reopen and fund the government until Republicans extend health care subsidies to prevent Obamacare premiums from skyrocketing. Now, according to the latest ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll, nearly half of Americans, 45%, say President Trump and congressional Republicans are to blame for the shutdown. That's only slightly lower than earlier this month. 33% blame Democrats, and then 22% of people polled said that they are not sure. And right now, as the Senate returns home for the weekend, it is a major sign that funding for food stamps could expire on Saturday. Now, if that happens, 42 million Americans will not get SNAP benefits. In California, those benefits are also known as CalFresh. And as we've reported on To The Point, food banks here and across the country are bracing for impact. And tonight, Nevada County social service workers, they are digging into their own pockets to help feed hundreds of people in need. They raised enough money for thousands of dollars worth of groceries, hoping to relieve some of the anticipated stress on their organizations.
It feels really good knowing that we have pulled together everything behind me, and we can offer them food bags or meals, snacks, and we're not going to be sending them out empty-handed.
And you can find ways to help or access food resources across Northern California on our website at abc10.com.
Meanwhile, SNAP benefits, aka food stamps, could run out within days. And food banks across America are gearing up like it's Black Friday at Costco. We got volunteers stacking canned goods like DJ Khaled stacks another one. Because when the government stops working, the people start hustling. Here's the kicker. Both sides are saying we're standing our ground, which sounds heroic, until you realize that their ground is literally our paychecks, flights, and groceries. At this point, the only thing still operating efficiently in DC is the blame machine. It's fully automated, runs on hypocrisy, and never takes a day off. So yeah, we're in uncharted territory, the longest shutdown ever. And as Americans keep waiting, one thing's clear. Our leaders are proving that when it comes to government, you don't need enemies when you've got each other. That's it for today's episode of Politically Animated. If you're still working harder than Congress, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next round of political circus commentary. And remember, if the government's on break, we're still wide awake. Peace out, Patriots. I am.